In a noisy world, the world that's speeding up, we're told to be everywhere, know everything, optimize constantly. But what if the most powerful system in your business isn't your tech stack, your funnel, or even your calendar? What if it's in your chest? That quiet beat, that whisper of knowing, that place where your presence lives. The more we optimize, the easier it is to lose the very intelligence that AI cannot replicate, that makes us uniquely human. The intelligence that lives in our hearts, not in our heads.
Every day I'm changing, I'm taking small steps, and every time I'm falling, I go to new depths. I will become who I've always been.
Welcome home, inspired entrepreneurs. Whether you're tuning in on a walk, between client calls, or just carving out a little space to hear yourself think, I want you to know this is your space. It's a space for the visionaries, the first-time founders doing things differently, the ones building from the inside out with soul, strategy, and truth. You don't have to prove anything here. You don't have to shrink. And around here, we grow with clarity, intelligence, and alignment. We lead with purpose, and we remember that who we are shapes what we create. So take a breath, let the noise fade, and know this: you're right on time. Have you ever had one of those opportunities that looked perfect on paper, but something in your gut, or maybe your heart, whispered, something's off? That happened to me recently. I met another coach, brilliant, aligned, same target audience, same values, even a similar brand aesthetic. We clicked right away, and it looked like one of those effortless collaborations that could only go right. But from the very beginning, there was a subtle tension in my chest. Nothing dramatic, just a quiet unease, and I couldn't explain it. My brain said, this makes sense, but my heart, my body, it wasn't convinced. And here's the thing. In a world that's becoming increasingly data-driven, we're conditioned to trust the logic, the metrics, the algorithm. We forget that data can't always tell us the truth. It can tell us what fits the model, but it can't tell us what aligns with the soul. So what do you do in that moment? Do you push past it because it checks every box? Or do you pause long enough to listen to the quiet knowing that doesn't live in your spreadsheets, but in your heart? And that's what we're exploring today: the science, the spirituality, and the strategy behind heart intelligence, and why learning to trust that subtle, embodied knowing may just be your most powerful advantage in a world ruled by AI. Let's dig into real science and why, in an age of AI, this might be the most valuable data system you'll ever learn to use. The intelligent heart is not a metaphor. When I say the heart is the new brain, I don't mean it poetically. I mean it physiologically, neurologically, and energetically. For over 30 years, the HeartMath Institute has been studying what they call heart-brain coherence. And what they've discovered might just change how you lead. This is real science, the field of neurocardiology, the study of how your heart and brain are in constant communication. Your heart isn't just a pump, it's a functional brain with more than 40,000 neurons sensing, remembering, and processing information. In fact, your heart sends more messages to your brain than your brain sends back to your heart. When you're in an aligned emotional state, purpose, love, gratitude, compassion, peace, your nervous system balances, your thinking sharpens, and your immune system strengthens, your performance expands. When the heart leads, the brain gets smarter. Now let's take this to an energetic level. Your heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in your body, up to 5,000 times stronger than the brain's, radiating about 3 feet beyond you. People don't just hear you, they feel you. That's not soft, that's strategy. That's resonance, that's presence. One of the 4 pillars of the inspired growth system. Presence is what happens when your head, heart, and actions align. It's not something you do. It's something you emanate. It's embodied leadership, the kind that moves people without forcing, influences without pushing, and inspires without saying a word. Neuroscience used to believe that intuition came only from the brain, subconscious pattern recognition and stored experiences surfacing as instinct. But modern research shows something far more interconnected. The heart and the brain are in constant conversation, functioning as a single intelligent network. The heart doesn't just respond to the brain, it informs it, sending electrical, chemical, and energetic signals that shape how the brain processes information and how it makes decisions. So when your heart is coherent, calm, open, regulated, it sends harmonious signals to the brain, allowing clearer thinking, faster insight, and more accurate, intuitive decisions. The head and heart are in sync. That's presence. And it's what gives rise to embodied decision-making, the kind you'll use every single day in business. All right, let's bring this wisdom into something even older than the science. Let's look at what spiritual traditions have been teaching about the intelligence of the heart for centuries. Science helps us understand how the heart leads. Spirituality reminds us why. Across spiritual and energetic traditions, those that see the body, mind, and soul as energy in motion, the heart has always been viewed as the bridge between the seen and the unseen. In these systems, energy isn't just a concept. It's the life force that animates everything. Our breath, our emotions, our creativity, our connections to others. In the Hindu yogic tradition, that life force is called prana. It flows through energy centers known as chakras. The heart chakra center sits right in the middle, connecting the physical lower chakras to the spiritual upper ones. It's the meeting place of the earth and heaven, where the human and the divine intertwine. In Christianity, the Sacred Heart represents the center of divine love, compassion, and truth, the place where divine presence meets human emotion. In Chinese and Taoist traditions, energy, or qi, flows through the body like rivers, keeping us in balance. When the heart energy is open and flowing, harmony is restored between body, mind, and spirit. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the land beneath my feet here in Temecula, California, the ancestral home of the Pechanga band of the 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝘀 Indians, also known as 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝘀, which means people of the West. The Pechanga people have lived in sacred relationship with this land for thousands of years. Their culture, stories, and spirituality are rooted in connection to the land, to the water, and to one another. Their way of life reminds us that wisdom isn't something we think our way into. It's something we belong to. It lives in rhythm, in reciprocity, and in the living intelligence of the heart. And this understanding echoes through many indigenous traditions. It reminds us that what modern science is only beginning to confirm ancient traditions have always known. The heart isn't just where we feel. It's where we remember, connect, and awaken. And here's where it all comes full circle, not just metaphorically, but biologically. In the mother's womb, the very first organ to form is the heart. Even in our earliest blueprint, the order is clear. The heart leads, the brain follows, and the gut grounds. The intelligence of rhythm, coherence, and connection is woven into us from the start, long before we ever think a thought. That sacred intelligence, it's not weak, it's not soft, it's the divine compass that guides your most aligned decisions in life and in leadership. That's the deeper power of presence, when your head, heart, and spirit operate as one. It's what makes us human. It's what can never be replicated by AI, because artificial intelligence can analyze data, but it can't feel truth. It can generate words, but it can't sense alignment. It can calculate outcomes, but it can't read a room, hold a hand, or hear the quiet knowing that says, this is right, or this isn't. That's discernment, and discernment is born in the heart. It's the quiet inner intelligence that helps you see beyond logic, the wisdom that whispers. This opportunity looks good on paper, but something's off. Or this path feels uncertain, but something deep inside knows it's right. That's not data. That's not instinct in the primal sense. That's your sacred intelligence, your heart's way of guiding you towards alignment. And in a world that's becoming increasingly automated, fast, and noisy, that's the edge of the future. Those who can stay in tune, who can listen beyond the noise, will lead with clarity, compassion, and truth. Presence is your greatest technology. It's the one thing AI will never have, the ability to feel into truth. When your heart and mind align, you don't just think differently, you lead differently. That alignment isn't meant to stay in meditation or theory. It's meant to shape how you hire, decide, and create.
Every day I'm changing, I'm taking small steps, and every time I'm falling, I go to new depths. I will become who I've always been.
Let's bring this home into your business and your everyday leadership. We're entering an age where logic is being outsourced to machines. The noise is increasing. The world is more uncertain than ever. So what becomes your guiding system? What becomes your true GPS? Not your productivity app, not your follower account, not your quarterly goals, your heart, your spirit, your soul level yes, because alignment doesn't come from metrics. It comes from devotion to the work, the people, and the calling that chose you. You can feel it, can't you? That quiet coherence between your head and your heart. This isn't just inspiration. It's information your body is giving you every day, every moment. Imagine you're hiring someone. Their resume looks flawless. The interview was polished. And your brain says, this was perfect. But your heart, it feels tight. You can't explain it. It's not logical, but something's off. You override it. You hire anyway. 3 months later, drama, misalignment, cleanup mode. Now imagine the alternate version, the one where you pause, breathe, and listen to that subtle pull in your chest, that small, steady voice that says, no, not this one. You trust it. You wait. And the person you eventually hire, They don't just perform, they resonate. That's heart intelligence. That's what it means to lead from a clear, connected place. And that right there is your superpower in a world of AI. A Harvard Business Review found that CEOs who regularly incorporate intuition into decision-making outperform their peers in long-term strategic success, talent retention, and company resilience. McKinsey & Company found that leaders who demonstrate emotional self-awareness and empathy see a 20% improvement in team performance and are far more resilient during disruption. When you only lead from the head, you might make efficient decisions, but when you integrate the heart, you make effective ones that last, ones that align. So remember that collaboration I mentioned at the beginning, the one that looked perfect on paper? Couldn't quite explain it, but something in my chest felt tight, and the energy around the partnership just felt uncertain, like it wanted to come together, but it didn't quite have roots yet. And sure enough, a few weeks later, I found out that they'd received another offer and they just didn't have the bandwidth to partner right now. Was that coincidence? Maybe. But I've learned that when my heart whispers, not yet, it's not doubt, it's discernment. It's reading alignment before the facts arrive. The heart doesn't just know who or what is right. It also knows when. Let's make this real. We've explored the science of the heart, the spirituality behind it, and how it shows up in business. But now it's time to take it from knowing to embodying, because understanding heart intelligence is one thing, but learning how to operate from it, to live, lead, and decide through it, that's where everything changes. So there are two practices that I want to give you today. They're simple and they're practical ways to bring this into life. Now, one is for how you make decisions, so your actions align with your truth. The other is for how you lead and create environments that feel grounded, safe, and inspired. So let's start with heart-led decision making. And it only takes 60 seconds. It's like a 60-second reset. This practice helps you make decisions that align, the ones that feel clear and clean, not forced or overthought. It's especially powerful when you're hiring or making a big business move or choosing where to invest your time, your energy, or your resources. First, you pause before deciding. Before you hire, post, sign, or pivot, stop for 60 seconds. Close your eyes. Breathe into your chest and ask, what does my heart know about this? Next, notice your body's feedback. Do you feel open or tight? Expansive or contracted? That's your first layer of discernment. Get curious about misalignment. If your brain says no, but your body says yes, pause. Ask what feels off. Is it the timing, the person, the motive? Clarity often hides behind that discomfort. At the end of the day, reflect on one decision that flowed and one that didn't. And ask yourself, did I trust my inner signal or override it? What did I know sooner than I admitted? And that's how you train your nervous system to trust its own data and make decisions that come from both your heart and your head. In a world chasing speed, the leader who can pause and feel becomes a steady rhythm in the noise. And that's where real influence begins. This next practice helps you walk into any situation, a meeting, a sales call, a keynote, a tough conversation, grounded and centered, no matter what energy you're stepping into. So the 60-second alignment practice goes like this. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to your heart. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. And then recall a moment of deep appreciation or love. Let that feeling expand through your chest. Imagine that warmth radiating outward, filling the room, surrounding you, and gently enveloping everyone that you're surrounded with. That's coherence, leadership through energy, not effort. It takes less than a minute, but it changes everything. You'll notice the energy in the room shift. People relax, communication flows, collaboration deepens. This is presence in action, the kind that can't be faked and can't be replicated by AI. These two practices, decision-making and alignment, are your daily anchors. They keep you clear, centered, and connected when everything around you moves fast. When your heart leads, your strategy sharpens. When your presence deepens, your influence expands. And when your actions and energy align, you become the kind of leader people don't just follow, they feel. That's the power of embodied leadership. That's what it means to lead from the heart. So take a breath with me. Let everything we explored today land, not just in your mind, but in your body. Because transformation doesn't happen in theory. It happens in practice. If something in today's episode opened your heart or shifted your thinking, share it. When you share these conversations, you're helping more entrepreneurs build businesses that honor their purpose and their peace. The world doesn't need more doing. It needs more leaders who are deeply present. That's how change happens, one aligned leader at a time. Welcome home. Welcome to the Inspired Entrepreneur.
I will grow in my own way. Every day I'm changing, I'm taking small steps, and every time I'm falling, I go to new depths. I will become who I've always been.
Coming next week in our next episode, we're building on this conversation, moving from the heart to the whole human, and we'll explore the ancient principle of be, do, have, and why your state of being is still your greatest performance advantage in the age of AI. And because I care about you and want to keep things above board, here's the quick legal bit. The Inspired Entrepreneur podcast and content posted by Deborah Hartnett is presented solely for general information, educational, and inspirational purposes. The use of information on this podcast or materials linked from this podcast or website is at the user's own risk. It's not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional diagnosis or treatment. Users should not disregard or delay obtaining medical, mental health, legal, or business advice for any situation and should seek the assistance of qualified professionals for any such conditions or decisions.